Cheers, I do buckaroos. How the heck are you? I'm a very tired beer whisperer and whiskey whisperer, but we decided, uh, both personalities, we're in agreement to go ahead and do a video for late night Thursday. I like to when I can. And since I don't have to get up early tomorrow, decided to go ahead. But I want to try to fix something real quick here. There we go. I think that'll get us there. Outstanding. Anyways, I digress. How the heck are you? As I said, I'm going to be Tom the Beer Whisperer and Whiskey Whisperer for this video, and I really wasn't sure, to be honest with you, what direction I was going to go until I just reached back and picked out something. I was looking at a few things. I said, no, I've been working through a lot of stuff, trying to get rid of them throughout the end of December and into January. But a few things I decided I would go ahead and hang on to until next year, and then we'll do that cycle again. But I did have a few things to go through still. I just reached back and pulled this one out. This is the 2019 vintage. I didn't realize what I had at first. The 2019 vintage Manor Familius. 2019. Wow, man. 5 years old, barrel aged imperial stout. There I can get my old eyes to read this tiny ass letter, and you see how small that shit is? Who the fuck eyes can read that? That's for young eyes, man. One sip of Materfamilias shows why this barrel aged stout is the head of Mother's household. It requires the undivided attention of our brewery over the course of a year. Our Imperial Stout delivers intense roasted malt flavor of chocolate and dried fruit. Careful aging in bourbon, rye, brandy, and rum barrels. So this one went through a few barrels. As in later vintages, they've narrowed down the barrels. The earliest vintage of MILF, before it became Materfamilias, said on the label that it used cocoa nibs and raisins. This one doesn't say that specifically, just has flavors of chocolate and dried fruit. So anyway, this is at 11%, I do believe. Yep. We show you that label. We show you what I just read. If you want to freeze that, read it yourself. Oh, and I decided to go with using my Bourbon Society of the Ozarks glass. 2 ounces of, as I'm getting near the end of the first, I've got one unopened bottle of this, near the end of my Union Horse Rivalist American Single Malt Whiskey. I would love a cask version of this. I swear to goodness I would. But it is at 96 proof, so it's not little by any means. And I just love that American Single Malt category. I think it's just brilliant. I am a big fan of that category. Oh man, I get a lot of chocolate on the nose. So I hadn't had this for a little bit, but what I was trying to remember was flavors that I had, and I felt like it would be very compatible with this particular version of Materfamilias. A lot of oak, chocolate, vanilla, but yeah, a lot of dried dark fruit. I feel like I'm picking up some cherry, almost like candied cherry notes. Think fruitcake. Let me show you that glass. Nice glass in my Bourbon Society of the Ozarks glass. All right, let's see if this one. I've had some MILF Materfamilias. I may not have had stored correctly, even though I thought I did. So we'll see. This one I found deep. Deep in the heart of my beer fridge. So let's see. Flavors, the aromas seem fine. Not finding any off notes here. I am getting that chocolate. I'm getting that dried fruit. Certainly some raisin, but you might find some fig and or date depending on you and your nose and palate. Oh, damn. Damn. About 5 years of aging on this one. Wow, that is gorgeous. I feel like I'm picking up again, maybe just the way I'm interpreting things at the moment. I feel like I'm getting like this dried dark cherry, or candied cherry rather. Again, like fruitcake. I'm gonna set that down because I want to pick up this whiskey. I give myself a solid 2 ounce pour there, as you can see. I've never seen the need. Some of these idiots will fill this glass all the way up to the top, which is just pure stupidity. Right? You drink as much as you want, right? 2 ounces at a time is about perfect. There are times I poured a little more, I must admit, but no, those idiots that filled up to the glass are just freaking stupid. Fill the glass up to the top, I mean. They're just idiots. Oh man, the nose on that whiskey is just insane. Yeah, I bought 2 bottles at the time because I just had a feeling, even before I tasted. So I was glad I did. Wish I'd have picked up another one though, because I was when we went to Kansas City later time. I should have bought a third bottle just to have a second one. But anyway, I didn't. But I haven't opened the second one yet. I probably will wait a while. A lot of stuff tends to get open in March. As we approach St. Patrick's Day. I've got some Irish stuff I haven't opened yet. I'm going to hang on to, not necessarily St. Patrick's Day itself, but we kind of make a weekend out of it here. Get these little peppery notes in here as well. Oh, that whiskey is absolutely gorgeous, man. Oh man. Again, I feel like I'm picking up some chocolate notes. Put a finer point on them and say dark chocolate. I'm certainly going to find some vanilla. You're going to get similar notes as you would a bourbon, but it's going to come at you in a different way. This uses 100% malted barley, so the viscosity is different. It's a little chewier, and the barley takes to the oak a little different than a bourbon mash would. But I love the viscosity of this. I'm really loving the malted barley, though. Oh gosh, that single malt whiskey is just insane. Let me set that down. I'm going to read you a little bit from here. Rivalist American single malt whiskey is a small batch artisanal whiskey made from 100% malted barley by Union Horse Distilling Company, handcrafted from easy, Tom. Handcrafted from easy, buddy, easy. Handcrafted from start to finish with the finest Midwest barley in our copper pot still. Then aged to perfection in new oak barrels. A beautifully complex and elegantly simple Rivalist combines tender notes of caramel, orange peel, and baking spices. Yeah, okay. I was gonna say toffee, but yeah, caramel, sure. And baking spices with long-lasting, succulent finish. Sit back, pour a glass, and give a toast to perfection. They don't see how long this is aged. If I had to guess, in all honesty, it's a young whiskey. It's probably somewhere between 3 and 4 years old, but I would doubt that it's even quite 4. Having said that, it's just absolutely brilliant, man. Oh, man, this whiskey is good. Age. Does age matter? Well, kind of, but I think a lot of us whiskey guys get a little too hung up on age. We look at Scotch and think, well, the older the Scotch, the better. But not all whiskeys age the same. From looking at Scotch or Irish, typically the older the better the whiskey. But bourbon uh, is a little bit different animal. An older bourbon isn't necessarily better. And a lot of it depends on how it's aged. And I'm going to say the same thing about this American single malt category. All these smaller distillers will age their whiskey slightly different. Where it doesn't take quite as long to get to perfection. Would I love to see this slightly older just to see? Sure. But like I said earlier, I quite frankly, I'd be more interested in the cask version of this. Uh, I would love it because it is so gorgeous and easy to drink at 96. I would really love to try a cask version of this exact same whiskey. My wife's got some stuff over here. Seems every time I get over here, my nose starts to run. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe there's just some dust over in this neck of the woods. But every time I sit in this little corner, my nose starts to run. Damn, that was good whiskey. Anyways, let me set that down for a second, and let's focus on this beer. Let's put the focus on the beer, shall we? Let's just see, man. Oh, my nose is a little challenged. I was fine at first, but no, the longer I sit here, the stuffier that nose gets. I have to go back to my other little corner, my other studio. To go back to my other studio, but my wife's got stuff in the way, so I can't get there. Every time I carve out a little corner, she seems to hijack it. I almost feel like I'm picking up a little anise note, just a little hint of black licorice in there. It's probably just me, but I think it's just the way it's all coming together. Again, this is aged about 5 years. Am I detecting anything off? Do I think I stored this improperly? No, actually, I'm not. Yeah, this 2019 is just absolutely gorgeous. The only thing I'm struggling with is the realization that 2019 was, you know, 5 years ago. That's the part that's messing with me the most, man. So February 1st, the end of dry January. I had to put that notation. Now I didn't observe dry January because I will not be told what to do. I didn't observe sober October. If I'm going to pick a month to be sober, it's not going to be January. January is a terrible month to be sober. So is October. There's too much going on. So I had to, go through month by month. February's no good. March doesn't work. You got St. Patrick's Day. April's a possibility. You got Easter in there, or it could be in March. But anyway, not necessarily a drinking holiday, but sometimes it's nice to have a little wine with the good food. May doesn't work for me because my birthday's in May. June doesn't work because it's getting hot. July doesn't work because the 4th of July. Anyways, as I went through month by month, if I had to pick a month, it would be April, I suppose. That's the one that yeah, it could be. Can't be September because our anniversary is on September. If there was ever a reason to drink, that would be. Anyways. Mercy. So my wife's in the room, so it was probably bad to say that joke, but once it enters my head, I have to say it. Otherwise, I get an ingrown chuckle, and nobody wants that. Get an ingrown chuckle. Anyways, I digress. I was swapping some stories with some friends today about our misspent youth. Of course, I'm quite a bit older than they are, so my youth goes back quite a bit farther. But some of the stories were rather similar, oddly. Yeah, actually, I got to tell you, 5 years, 5 years of aging. Some will tell you that you don't want to age a beer like this more than 5 years, or most beers don't age past 5 years very well. Even barrel aged imperial stouts, but right at 5 years, I feel like this one has aged extremely well. I really do. I mean, there's no sharp notes. It doesn't feel hot per se. I mean, it is 11%, so you ought to be able to taste some alcohol. However, however, it doesn't come off harsh or off-putting in any way. And again, those flavors, those aromas, everything is just perfectly balanced. At times, a young beer like this, the notes will be sharper and seem a little disjointed. They'll come at you in a little bit different way. Whereas after you get a little aging, they all seem to come together a little better. And right now, here I have this Materfamilias at 5 years, and it is right at perfection, man. Oh, that is just nothing shy of gorgeous. So the Rivalist, this one tells you again to look for. Excuse me, that's going to hurt later. Caramel, orange peel, baking spice. Yeah, sure. Let's see. I'm getting a lot of spice notes. Yeah, probably leans more towards baking spice. So I was leaning more towards some dark fruit, right? I mentioned cherry, almost like a candied cherry note. But sure, yeah, you might feel some orange peel in there or orange zest. Baking spice, yeah, to put a slightly finer point on it. Yeah, some cinnamon, some allspice. I feel like I'm picking up a little hint of clove, maybe a little nutmeg, and a little bit of ginger. Is ginger a baking spice, Tom? I don't know. I like it. I'll throw it in there, man. Who knows, man? I'm not bound by convention. Believe it or not, this is my first alcohol of the day, but it's starting to work. I can feel it. It's starting to work, man. The pain is starting to subside. The pain is starting to subside. Man, this stuff is good. It's just good. It is rather complex, but it is also approachable at the same time. 96 proof. I don't know if you were watching me there, but as you can see, I mean, it isn't harsh in any way. It isn't. I mean, there was no face made. I guess I should say it is just very easy to drink at that proof. Should you do anything with this besides drinking it neat? Well, the honest answer is no, you probably shouldn't. However, the other answer is yeah, I've tried it in some stuff because sometimes curiosity gets the best of me. I mean, I've tried it as an old fashioned, even though when you say old fashioned, you're typically thinking of a bourbon or a rye. And I've tried it as a Manhattan. Again, when you think Manhattan, you're thinking of a rye, possibly a high rye bourbon. Um, I think it works. Would I put this on the rocks? Yeah. The truth is, if that's your, If you prefer your whiskey on the rocks, yeah, if that's your preference. Um, but I would. Now, if it was August, I might say, yeah, why not? But here we are deep in the winter months. And I said, no, man, this is a neat drink. This is a fireplace whiskey, even though it's a, that's not a real fireplace, right? Even though I'm in this fake cabin setting with a nice fire going, yeah, it's a fireplace. It's when you want to just sit and sip and relax. But you don't necessarily need a Glencairn like I'm doing because I put it in regular, whiskey glasses. You don't need a pretentious glass, but I haven't used my Bourbon Society glass in a while, so I thought, what the hell, even though I'm not drinking bourbon in it, maybe you should have put a bourbon in there, Tom. That might have made more sense. No, but I didn't want to. I wanted to concentrate the nose. It might have made more sense, Tom. You jackass. anyways, I digress. Wow, it's been a long week for me. I'm old and tired and decrepit. Uh, Sometimes it's just about how things fall, right? Last week things just kind of fell badly, and then I had to work more on certain days than others for various reasons. So this year I can sleep in tomorrow and relax, take a deep breath, and I'm off Saturday completely. It's 11% again. I don't know if you're watching me, but there is no face made. It isn't harsh to drink it anyway. Um, it is a little viscous, but not overly so for an 11% multi-barrel aged imperial stout. It is just put together just impeccably well. Oh man, that is delicious. And kind of the reason I paired these two, mostly because I hadn't done it before, but I felt like I was going to get compatible flavors and aromas. Not necessarily like flavors and aromas, but compatible. So when you pair a beer and a whiskey, you're not necessarily looking for like flavors or aromas. You want those that are going to be compatible or complementary. Not necessarily be alike, but work together in a harmony, if you will. Anyways, I digress, man. Anyway, wrap it up, Tom. Anyways, oh, mercy, Percy. It's been a week, man. I'm tired. I'm old. Things hurt. Oh man, I can't believe I'm gonna be 59 this year. Seems like just the other day I hit 40. Now I'm damn near 60. I used to joke about me. I used to joke about being middle aged, and now I'm past middle age, right? You're on the other side of middle age, Tom, because you're not going to live to be 116, 118. It ain't going to happen. You're past that, man. If you're lucky, you're going to have 20 more years. If you're very lucky. Oh, mercy. My dad was 76 when he passed. And he had been on borrowed time for a good decade. Doctors were not sure why he was still alive, and that is not a joke. Even though it sounds like it was in jest. I mean, no, doctors were. I don't know. They would talk about the pain he was in. The doctors would say, "I don't know why you're still alive." Nothing left to works. I'm not sure why this heart is still beating. I'm not sure why these lungs are still breathing. You have everything, and it is bad. There is no reason for you to still be kicking other than pure orneriness. Anybody out there watching this that knew my dad knows exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm hoping to get a little bit past that. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see who wins this next election. Then we'll check my will to live after November. See what my will to live is like after November. Then we'll see. And then we'll, anyways, I digress. I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor of wisdom, rivalist, Union Horse Distilling, Lenexa, Kansas. I really love these guys. Union Horse doing some great stuff. The Rolling Standard 4 grain whiskey is beyond brilliant. I right here on my bar cart, I've got right here on my bar cart, man. I've got their cask reunion rye, which there is no rye better than that one. I got to tell you. And this rivalist American single malt whiskey is wow, it's just absolutely amazing. And I love this single malt category because it's kind of the Wild West. You have to use 100% malted barley, but a lot of the aging processes are different. For instance, we talk about Scotch and Irish single malt whiskeys. Irish single malt whiskeys tend to use spent bourbon casks, so you get a whole different profile. But here, this is they're using new charred oak, so you've got all of this going on without 100% malted barley. And other single malt categories, or Scotch, Japanese, Irish, are not doing it the same way. The thing is, every American distillery that's doing American single malt whiskey is doing it just a little bit differently. So you've got this wide range of flavors. Anyways, I love the category, but I really love Union Horse. So I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and so finishing up now. Now to recap. My mother's Materfamilias. Let me show you this bottle one more time. Holy fucking duck! This stuff is good. It's 5 years old, man. Mother's Materfamilias, barrel aged imperial stout. This is vintage 2019. I got to tell you, this stuff is just crazy good. I mean, I'd have to have a time machine to go back to tell you what I felt about it back in 2019. But I got to be honest with you, as this thing is aged, I mean, wow, everything is just gorgeous. You might expect it to be sweet or overly sweet, but it is not. All these flavors and aromas have just came together perfectly after 5 years. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, man. Anyways, all right, Tommy, you made your point. I am Tom the Beer Whisperer, Beer Evangelist, prolific beer drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and all right, good guys, launch you.